do you think there's opportunity for more innovative models for broadcasters to take on? So, for example, even look into perhaps ownership into leagues, because of course the sports teams or the leagues themselves don't have the viewership to be able to make a pure business case sense for you as a broadcaster. Would you be open to exploring different innovative models of getting involved in basketball?
I think we're always looking at those, but maybe a point to raise is the whole issue around sponsorship is a layered issue, if I was going to say that. It's an issue that comes, one, from an education piece, both ways. Does the marketing manager understand the way the sport can give them an ROI? Because if they do not, then you'll spend a lot of time trying to convince them that what you need is not a sponsorship of your jersey. What you need is to have a conversation of sports fans who enjoy that game, not necessarily the game itself. So how then do we create partnerships and collaborations between ourselves as broadcasters and people like Sandra, and then with marketing managers? The other one is an investment issue. Sandra can say this to you when they then decided to go the route of Thunder. When you think about the teams in the basketball league and across many other leagues across the continent and even in Kenya, there's a big investment issue because there's no money to fund. And even just think about the rugby team when they then lost their status at the World Series and what has happened in between there until, yes, last week is that big announcement. But if you were to listen to the stories of the players, and then you imagine that then you're looking to monetize that person, for it to be monetizable, a bit more needs to happen from the federation level in regards to taking care of the players, and then the teams that own the players, and then now you can have a product. I think the third one is we really are working in cross purposes, if you think about it. So the teams, yes, want to grow the game. The federation wants to prove that it's the one in charge of the leagues. But then also those of us in broadcasting or in marketing want to squeeze you for life for them to give you a penny. So I think it's like I said, it's a layered issue, but this is some of the innovative ways that Nation Media Group has dealt with some of this. For example, if I think of how we've handled athletics for very long, when we had athletics, we would just broadcast them, and then you have what you call a squeeze back, a pop-up, your traditional way of then giving value to the client. Now we have master classes where, for example, some of our partners, if it's banks, they then sit with the athletes to work with them on how they can use their money. Then we have live viewing of those on the streets, for example, in Eldoret, because of the value that the citizen in Eldoret places on athletics. Then, as an outcome of that, we also have storytelling on what it means to be an athlete and what you have to put in to get the value that you get out. Because again, the story of athletes is left at winning. Maybe right now, the reason we are so focused on Thunder is because they've gotten some good investment and they are now on the cusp of going into BAL as the first Kenyan team. But what about other teams that have been in the league for so long? So it's also looking at other innovative ways. I'm quite pleased to hear what Noga is doing. But one thing is to say we all have to look for innovative ways first of engaging our audiences, of then showing value to the people who have money to give them money. But we must also be very clear on what ROI they'll get from us. And once you create that education piece across those pillars, and then you look at the challenges that I spoke about earlier, then you give the chance of the league getting a better return because of all these people that have come together, because they believe that in their coming together, there's a good outcome for the league, there's a good outcome for the teams, there's a good outcome for the sponsor, and there's also a good outcome for the broadcaster. So it has to be looked at as a multi-layered issue, not just there's no way it's just about one part. It's not just about the rights. It's not just about the league or the teams or even just about the sponsor.